You've got to go through the seasons before you produce what you were designed to produce. Tonight, it's Church in the Wild. It's for the wild boys. I have 3 things to leave with you. Number 1, stay wild. Number 2, stay in wonder. Number 3, stay in worship. I want you to know, stay wild. Matthew chapter 3, verse 4 talks about John the Baptist. It says he lived out in the desert, rocked a camel hair coat with a leather belt, and his food was locusts and wild honey. He was a wild boy, but he was a prophet. And even if they couldn't stand him, they couldn't deny him because he walked in power. God wanted him to stay wild. God wants you to stay wild. Locusts and wild honey, the significance of locusts and wild honey. None of us have probably eaten locusts. Locusts have protein, but it's probably not very tasty. So God said, I want you to have the protein, the necessity, the locust, but I also want you to have the sweetness. I want you to have the extra. Get you some wild honey. Life is not all about the locust. It's not always about what you must do. It's also about what God wants to do through you, the abundance, the overflow. It's the locust and the wild honey. I want you to know God wants you to stay wild. Am I talking to anybody in here? Don't let life beat you up to the point that you cannot recover. Locust and wild honey. I want you to stay wild. Second thing is I want you to stay in wonder. Psalm 86, 8 through 10 says, among the gods there is none like you, O Lord, nor are there any works like your works. All nations whom you have made shall come and worship before you, O Lord, and shall glorify your name. Look what's happening here. People from different backgrounds are at the altar worshiping the name of the Lord, glorifying the Lord. The word is coming to pass. For you are great and do wondrous things. You alone are God. It says you do wondrous things. Don't you ever lose that wonder of being in his care. Stay in wonder. Stay in awe of God. You need to just stop and look up at the stars tonight when you're going home.